You ain't gonna believe this. So this black woman got falsely accused of killing a cop, got hit with a life sentence in prison, then escaped from a high security prison in 1979. And to this day, the FBI can't even find her. So the sister name is Assata, and she's born 1947 in Queens, New York, and she's growing up in the middle of Jim Crow segregation and the civil rights explosion. And like most black people trying to survive in America at that time, she starts to wake up to how rigged the system really was. And by her 20s, she changes her name from Joanne to Assata Shakur, which means she who struggles for liberation. And she becomes a key member of the Black Panther Party and later joined the Black Liberation Army, a group that believed self-defense wasn't just a right, it was necessary. Now the FBI, you already know they labeled the Panthers and the Black Liberation Army as the greatest threat to national security. Like anytime we want to just protect ourselves for some reason, it's a threat to national security. But anyway, all of a sudden, Assata Shakur name was on every Fed desk. And they wasn't trying to understand her, they was trying to erase her. So fast forward to May 2nd, 1973. Assata is pulled over on the New Jersey Turnpike with two other people, Zayd and Sundiata. Now, depending on who you ask, here's what went down. Now, police say Assata pulled out a gun and killed the state trooper. But Assata says the cops opened fire and she got shot with both hands in the air. And based on the climate of the Panthers at that time, I'm leaning more towards what she's saying. And that's not just speculation, that's medical records. She had no gunpowder residue, no fingerprints on any weapon, and her injuries suggest that her arms was raised when she was hit. But guess what? It didn't even matter. They charged her with first-degree murder, and her friend Zayd was killed during the shootout. And Sundiata was arrested and sentenced to life. And Assata, she was dragged into court after court on different charges, bank robbery, kidnapping, murder, you name it. And even though she beat 6 of the 7 cases due to lack of evidence, the media already made up their mind. They called her public enemy number 1. Then Assata is convicted for death of a state trooper and sentenced to life plus 33 years, despite no gun residue, no fingerprints, no eyewitness IDs, and a gunshot wound that paralyzed her arm. But here's where it gets more suspicious. Her trial was surrounded by armed guard dogs and snipers. She wasn't just treated like a criminal, she was treated like a war general. They locked her up in Clinton Correctional Facility for Women in New Jersey, isolated, strip search constantly, lights on 24/7. And the crazy part, she wasn't broken, she was planning. Now let's fast forward to November 2nd, 1979. It's been 2 years since her sentence, and Assata is in a prison infirmary recovering from complications related to her gunshot injuries. And then it happens. 3 people from the Black Liberation Army pulled off the unthinkable. They walked into the prison armed, they took 2 guards hostage, they got Assata out of her cell, walked her into a van, and vanished into thin air. No one was killed. Nobody knows how they managed to pull it off, and the most shocking, they never got caught. Assata just disappeared like a ghost. And to this day, the government still don't know how they really pulled it off. No snitches, no suspects, no answers. Just a black woman who escaped the grip of the US prison system on camera and lived to tell the story. Now here's where the plot flips. In the mid-80s, Assata resurfaces in Cuba. She's granted political asylum by Fidel Castro's government. They called her a freedom fighter, not a terrorist. They seen what the US did to revolutionaries like MLK, Fred Hampton, and Malcolm X, and they wasn't having it. Meanwhile, the US is going full wanted, dead or alive. And in 2025, they officially labeled her a domestic terrorist. And in 2013, the FBI puts a $2 million bounty on her head with the help of the then President Barack Obama. And she becomes the first woman ever added to the FBI's most wanted terrorist list. Think about it. Not a mass shooter, not a bomber, a black woman who was shot, falsely convicted, and escaped. And she's the #1 female terrorist in America? Miss me with that. Assata Shakur wasn't just any activist. She was the embodiment of black resistance. She challenged police violence, she exposed the hypocrisy of the justice system, and she dared to survive a system built to break her. And the best thing of it all, she educated others. Even behind bars, her letters, her poems, and her writings reached the streets. She taught young black women to value their minds, their bodies, and their roots. And for the US government, that was more dangerous than any bullet. It's been over 40 years and Assata Shakur is still free. And as of today, when I'm making this video, she just turned 78 years old, living somewhere in Cuba, protected, respected, and thriving. To some, she's a criminal. To others, she's a revolutionary. But one thing's for sure, she beat the system. And if they could catch her, they would have done it by now. So next time somebody tell you resistance doesn't work, tell them about the black woman who dodged the FBI, survived prison, and built a life outside of the empire. Her name, Assata Shakur. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what story you want me to do next.